Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun.
Nick Collier here again. It's, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning or so. I'm up. I'm excited. Hey, let's get going. We've got this axle project that we're working on, and the customer wants me to adapt this hub that really isn't going to be adaptable because there's not quite enough room to do the things we need to do to it. So what I'm going to propose to him is to throw the hub away, keep the clutch part of the hub, which is right here, and we'll come down to that closer in a minute, and build a whole new hub. I think it's going to be more efficient, take less time, and quite possibly we're not going to have to backtrack a couple of times to try to figure out how to do this. So hey, hang in there with me. Let's have a good time here in the drawing room. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and rotate my old drawings over onto the old drawings wheel, and we can just do that by sliding it over. Old projects, I probably got about I don't know, 15 years of old projects with dust all over the paper and everything. You know, hey, it is what it is. We're going to focus down below here and see what we can do. All right, well, here's what he wants to do. This is a one-way clutch. It only functions, it only rotates in one direction. If you try to go the other direction, it locks, which is good. And this is what he wants. And the problem is that he also wants to put a sprocket onto this ledge right here. And I thought, okay, we'll just go in and machine this part down and get more of a ledge. Well, it turns out that what's just underneath this little retainer spring is the bearing itself, the clutch bearing. And here, I'll just show you a picture of it. Or not a picture, but this is the, he gave me 3 of them to work with. And I'm going to put this down right here. And you can see that the bearing itself is wider than this smaller piece. And so, you know, and then I can't turn this part down, so I have to, I'm not sure what I can do, because there's just really not enough room from here to here to attach a sprocket, unless of course you're going to use little dinky bolts, and you know, I'm guessing we're going to use a pretty good size sprocket, and there's going to be some weight against this, and the horsepower motor could be, you know, up to one half horse or so, and that's going to strip this thing out. So I thought, okay, let's just take this whole thing apart, and here, this is the functional part of the clutch. So why not just make a replacement bearing with a much larger face to it, so we can really drill some real holes in there and go from there. So I came up with a basic sketch. What did I do with that sketch? Here it is right there. Just about what I need to do, but I haven't got all the measurements right or anything like that. So I think what we're going to do is kind of come in and figure out how to lay this thing out so that it's going to work. Ha! So put this over here. Let's start right in here, and we're going to do a center line. Are we on 0? We are on 0. Okay, here's our center line. And I know we're going to have a shaft of somewhere around 1.75 inches. So something below the size of 1.75 inches. All right, well, Nick Collier here again, and we're going to continue with this project. It is now 3 months later. This thing has sat on my bench and sat on my bench, and the guy calls me and says, oh yeah, let's get moving on it, and then he flakes out, and then he calls me back, and it's been, quite a ride. You learn not to get attached to any particular project because you don't know when it's going to be dumped at any moment. Well, we're back on the project, and it's certainly an abbreviated version of what he first wanted to do with a bunch of clutches, and so but right now he says all I want is 3 discs that'll fit on this hub, and it'll fit around that hub, and so we're going to make him 3 discs, and we're going to use the pattern torch to do it. Now, the problem with the pattern torch, and it's why it was $100 instead of $12,000, is you have to make a pattern, and it has to be in metal, because of course there's a little magnet that runs around. And so what we're doing is we're making a single pattern, and then we're going to take it over to the pattern torch and use it as a pattern to cut out 3 circles with, and so as you can see, I have a pretty rough surface because I cut this by hand, with the torch. And now we're boring this out to the right size, and then we'll grab it with the jaws of the chuck from the inside and trim out the outside. So I think that that said, let's get rolling. Okay, so we're at size now, and then you can see that there's a bunch of skips here. Oh my God, a pile of them. And a bunch of slag here. We got to get rid of the slag. But in general, I'd say we're pretty well close. This is going to be fine because it doesn't matter if there's indents. It just matters that the that the roller goes over it fairly smoothly. So we're going to come in and we're going to weld up all of these indents and bring it back up a little bit so we can put it back in and bring it back to size and keep going. We'll be back. Okay, well that looks pretty good. Let's throw it back on the lathe and see what we can do. Yeah, it all looks fine. All we need is that perimeter line to be clean. So we can take this and take it to the bank. There's our disc. We'll be back. Okay, well we cut one and we're working on the second one here, and we're going to cut the hole out and follow along. Well, okay, here we are. We cut these things out. Oh man, they just cut out beautifully. And, you know, I'm still getting used to this machine. So what I didn't realize was that there was a bolt that bottomed out on the arm up above and didn't tighten down on the shaft. And so when I got ready to cut the center out, it cut it out kind of weird. And I pretty much wasted some metal. Wasted and wounded, it ain't what the moon did. I got what I paid for now. Oh, little Tom Waits rendition there. So pretty much we're gonna chuck those. But these two we chuck. And I cut two more, and then this one's really bad off. And I'll take you up above and show you what happened. Okay, there's a bolt right back here that I didn't notice that it had actually bottomed out. So then whenever I move this, and we're just going to move it, I pick it up and put it down, it moves on its own without much help. So there we go. One more learning, one more lesson in working this tool. And you know, hey, okay, 40 bucks worth of steel, phew, out the window, but no big deal. Okay, but there are two of them that are close enough that I think I can save them. So what I've done is I've come in, and this one's off center by just a little bit, like maybe a 1/4 inch or so. And my hub is a good 1/4 inch bigger. So what I've done is divided or kind of evened out where the movement is, where the off-centeredness is, and you know, going to take a little bit off the outside diameter and a little bit off the inside diameter, and I think I might be able to pull this off. Nice. We did it. Well, we're a little bit under 11 inches, but I know that his measurements are more random because this is experimental stuff, and basically he's going to be attaching a sprocket to this. So we are at 10 7/8. So I think we're going to be good. Let's put this one up and see what we got. That one's pretty much off. That's a ways off. But we're going to adjust it and see if we can kind of even out the misalignment. Well, it's not too bad. It was about a 1/2 inch.
Alright, that's pretty close. That's within a quarter. Now let's check and see what's happening down here. See if we're too far out. Oh, we're a long ways out. I don't know, we're a quarter out. Well, it's a quarter inch. I think we better move back a little bit. Alright, that looks pretty good. Basically, we're just averaging out our two holes. And that's just about a quarter. And let's see how badly off we are here. Oh, not too bad. Well, there's probably a good quarter inch there. And how much room do we have? We're sitting just at 11. All right, let's just cut it and see what we come up with. Okay, we were able to save two of them. Now, it's Sunday, so tomorrow we go back to the steel place and get another piece and cut out another piece and machine that one. And then we cut 5 holes or 6 holes? 5 holes all the way around here so that it'll fit on the hub. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so we've got our disc cut. Now what we have to do is drill 5 holes in it. And I wish I had a can't remember the name of it, but anyhow, a plate that went behind my my super spacer that had 5 slots in it, but I don't, and one of these days soon I'm going to make one of those, just because here we are right here, and we have to do some calculating. Well, we got to calculate from center out to here anyhow. So using my calipers, I'm going to come in here, and I got this thing fairly snug, and we're just going to drop this in here and make sure that we're square by pushing my finger on it. Let's do it over here so you can see. And so I'm square up against that inside wall, and now I'm kind of just coming out to the edge of the bolt, and I'm coming in just a little bit, and I'm just touching. And what do we have? Two 900. I'd say 2,900 on the money. Okay, so let's write that down. Two inches, 900. That's our measurement from here to the outside edge of the bolt. Now what we want to measure is the diameter of the hole, and trying to get as close as we can. So we have one. Let me go turn a light on here so I can see. Okay, so we've got all of our holes drilled except that one, which was sitting over the top of the jaw. So I think what we can do is just, since we're all set up, all we have to do is just loosen it up, rotate it around till we find the center of that hole, which is just about right there. Oops. Make sure we're still there. Yep, that's pretty good. And take it down. Okay, so we've done one. Now we want to take it over to the hub and see how close we got, or if we need to do another one. Take it loose, take it off. We'll go. Okay, let's give her a try and see how it's gonna go. Oh man. Okay, I'm fucking with you, because I had to drill it out one size bigger because it didn't fit. But it does fit, and it's in good shape, and it's got a little bit of slop, but that's how hubs are anyhow. Our tightness is right on the shaft itself, or the hub itself. So let's do the other two, and we'll be ready and set to go.